So if you're ever bored of this default blue folder icon on your Mac, you can just press Command-I to show folder info, select the icon on the top left here, and just like magic, change it to whatever you want. Let's get started. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jeff. Come for the MacBook tips and stay for the 8 icons I made just for you, linked down below. Once you've downloaded the PNG files, select the document one as an example, Command-A to select the entire image, Command-C to copy, select the folder you want to edit. You can either right-click and get info or Command-I, select the icon on the top here and press Command-V to paste. I've created both light and dark versions so you can mix and match based on your wallpaper, but if you don't like the icons I created, first of all, it's okay to have no taste. You can use icons from flaticon.com or thenounproject.com. Moving to MacBook tip number 2. If you're like me and never use caps lock, you can actually disable it by going to System Preferences, Keyboard, Modifier Keys. You should see caps lock up here and select No Action. Now you won't toggle on caps lock by mistake. Some of you might have noticed my System Preferences window is very clean, and that's because I can go to View, Customize, and now I can deselect options I never use and click Done to save. Doing this will not delete the system setting, obviously, and you can always get to a deselected page by using Spotlight or Alfred, which is a free alternative to Spotlight that I've made a full video about. I'll link that down below. While we're here, let's go over tip number 4. The reason I deselect the sound option in System Preferences is because a quicker way to access both the microphone and the speakers is go to Quick Menu Bar, hold down Option, and click on Sound. And now you see all the available output and input selections. I realize this is much faster than even using Alfred to access sound preferences because I never use sound effects anyways, right? And now I have to click into the output or input tabs. Oh, and pro tip, if you hold down Shift and Option, this actually gives you granular control over the volume, like so, and the brightness. MacBook tip number 5 is an extremely underrated feature, and that is while holding down the Command button, you can actually move windows without selecting it. As you can see, I use this all the time when I have multiple Finder windows open in the background, and I want to find one without getting lost in all the windows. Pro tip, this trick works for browsers as well. For example, I want to check the date and time zone difference for a colleague. I can hold down Command, click the calendar tab here, quickly see what I need, and continue typing on my active window. Speaking of windows, I've never been a fan of full screen since you lose the menu bar up top unless you hover over it, but that's just a little bit clunky. You know what I mean? So tip number 6 is if you go to System Preferences, Dock and Menu Bar, you can actually uncheck Automatically Hide and Show the menu bar in full screen, and now you'll always have the menu bar in full screen. If you follow my Inbox Zero workflow, you're gonna like tip number 7 because if you remember in Gmail, you can use the keyboard shortcut V to label and archive an email in one step. This basically takes an email out of the main inbox and moves it to a label. In Finder, you can do something similar. If you're transferring files between your laptop and external drive, by default, if you drag the file over, it makes a copy of it, and you might have to go back and delete the original manually, right? Instead of doing that, you can press Command-C, and in the new location, Command-Option-V to move the file to the new location. Sounds like a tiny thing, but can remove a huge amount of friction. Staying within Finder, tip number 8 is if you have multiple windows open within the same app, Command-Tab, and with that app selected, press the up or down arrows to see all open instances of that application, including minimized ones. Now you can use left or right arrows to navigate and press Enter to select. If you watch my Mac Apps for Productivity video, you know I personally prefer the Alt-Tab window management system. That's open source and completely free to use. I'll link that video down below. Okay, I feel kind of stupid about tip number 9, so let me quickly explain before you judge me. I never understood why, when I double click into a file, I can't just use the arrow keys to go down the list. I literally have to exit out, Command W, right? And click the next one, see if it's a file I'm looking for. It's not, I have to repeat. I recently found out if you press space to preview, you can use the arrow keys to go down the list. And better yet, once you find the file you're looking for, you can press space again. The file is already highlighted and you can press Command-C to copy or do something else with it directly. I had no idea for 3 years. Anyways, pro tip. students might already know this. If you're previewing an image with text in it, you can just highlight the text, Command C to copy, and paste it directly somewhere else. MacBook tip number 10 is great for saving space. I recently took a marketing course and another student wanted the pictures I took of some of the slides. And as you can see, each one is around 1.5 megabytes, so pretty large files. So before airdropping this, I would select all of this, right-click, quick actions, and convert image. And as you can see, even at large, it is only around 1/10 of the original size. Bonus tip for all the loyal viewers who stuck around, a lot of you asked me in the last video for a free alternative to CleanShot X, a screenshot app I just love. I'll link it down below. Specifically, how to take a full page screenshot without using a third-party extension for privacy or security reasons. For Google Chrome users, you can press Command Option I to bring up developer tools. Don't panic. Find the line of code by just scrolling down that corresponds to this full page of content. For this example is this line right here because the left-hand side is all highlighted. And then press Shift Command P to bring up this command bar, type in screenshot, and select Capture Node Screenshot. And after a second or two, you should see the entire page of content downloaded like so. If you enjoyed these tips, make sure to check out my top 20 MacBook tips for productivity. See you on the next video. In the meantime, have a great one.